Good morning, boys and girls, and we're beginning week 4 of distance learning. All right, we are finished with doing compare and contrast. Now we're going to go into a new reading topic, and it's called point of view. Now let me just kind of give you a little background of what point of view is. Point of view has to do with someone's feeling. Someone's feeling about maybe an event that's happening in the story, or maybe they have feelings towards another character and the way that that character is acting towards them, or how the character is acting towards somebody else. So that's really what point of view means. It's really just your feelings, your viewpoint, how you feel about something. And you will notice in stories as you read them that a character's point of view will change because different events are affecting them, or different characters come into the story and do things that will change their point of view about those things. Now, the point of view, we usually want to focus on your main character. However, there are other characters that will come into a story that will have an effect on the main character's point of view, but those characters sometimes also have points of view, okay? So those are the things that we're going to be talking about for the next 3 weeks. That's right. So this week, I'm going to be sharing stories with you. And then I believe Thursday, Friday, I want you to try to listen to a story and then answer some questions. And then what I'll be doing is I'll be revisiting that story with you, and I'll be going over, those answers, and hopefully that you're seeing how these characters' points of view are changing. All right. So the first one, you should have already listened to this story because that was my direction to do. All right. So now that you've listened to that story and you've got introduced to Paul and Wyatt, and you kind of saw how the boys interacted with each other, and hopefully maybe as I've been just talking about viewpoint, you went, oh yeah, Paul did have a point of view about something, and so did Wyatt. But then one of the characters' points of view changed. All right. Now, before we do that, I want to talk about these 3 things up here on my whiteboard. When you get into like 3rd and 4th and the upper grades, they're actually going to be getting into first person, second person, and third person. Boys and girls, when you read a story, they're written in either first person, second person, or third person, okay? Now, first person uses words like I, me, my, mine, myself, we, us, our, and ourselves. So you can tell that that story is being told by the person themselves. That's why they're using the word I, or this is mine. That's my book. We are going to the store. That means the person is there with some other people, okay? So that story really is about a person, okay? And they're telling it themselves. The next type of a story is called second person, and you'll see the word you, your, yours, yourself, yourselves, okay? And then the third way is called third person. And when you read a story that has the words like he, him, his, himself, she, her, hers, herself, it, its, itself, they, them, themselves, their, theirs, that's a story where someone else is writing it and it's about someone else. Like he went to the store and then she picked up the dog. See, you're not in that story. You're kind of like an outsider, all right? Now, I put a star here and then I put, a bubble around that one. Most stories are written in third person. And then there are stories that are written in first person when you have a lot of I's in there. This one, you rarely ever find stories that are written in second person, okay? All right, so I'm gonna read this story called A Difficult Decision, and I'm gonna stop here and there, and I'm gonna ask you how you feel that a character's point of view is changing, all right? Now, I don't know if you noticed, but there were characters in here. There was a Paul, and then the story began with an I. Well, there was an I because you didn't really know who the I was until a little bit later. And the I is Wyatt. Wyatt is the one who is telling this story. That's why he uses the word I in there. So this story is being written in first person because there's an I, all right? So here it goes. It says, my best friend Paul and I were excited to go to the park after school. The park had a new fort. The parks department let the kids choose what kind of equipment to build, and the fort got the most votes. After school, Mom and I met Paul and his dad at the park. Paul and I raced to the top of the tower. I win! I'm the champion, I shouted. Look, Paul, someone left the newest game master here. It's mine now. All right, so right here, Wyatt, who is the I, has a point of view of the game master. He thinks the game master should belong to him. He wants it. He found it. So he thinks it should be his. That's why he says, it's mine now. Okay, so you see how he's giving you a point of view? Okay. Paul raised his eyebrows, kind of like that, and looked thoughtful. Wyatt, you cannot keep that game master, he said. You have a responsibility to return it. It is your duty. Now, Paul also has a point of view. And those words right there told you what Paul's point of view is about what Wyatt wants to do with the game master. And if you're thinking right now, and I hope you are, Paul's point of view about that game master is that Wyatt should not keep it. It's not his. It belongs to someone else. Okay? All right, let's keep going. I asked, haven't you ever heard the saying, finders, keepers, losers, weepers? I have rights. I found it. So I am claiming it. Okay, now you still see that his point of view is still the same. He found it. He thinks he has the right to keep it. Okay. And you already saw this, but I'm just going to show it to you. And there they are. All right. So let's keep going. You can do whatever you want, Wyatt, but you know it's wrong to keep it, Paul said. Then he added, whenever there are issues like this at school, you're the one who helps solve the problems. Now you aren't taking your own advice. Then Paul added, I volunteered my thoughts. If you don't want to take the help I offered, there's nothing I can do. Paul was right. I couldn't keep the game because it wasn't mine. Now I'm going to stop right there. That sentence tells you how Wyatt's point of view is changing. And what made his point of view change is his friend Paul. Okay? So you see how a character made someone's first point of view change to something else? All right. The person who lost it would be upset. This is still Wyatt talking. I cleared my throat and said, in my deepest voice, I've determined that you're right. I'm delighted you decided to do the right thing, said Paul. Now, Paul had a point of view about Wyatt's point of view. He was a little disappointed in his friend. But now, all of a sudden, he now has a different point of view about Wyatt. Like, he's happy. He's happy that Wyatt has chosen to make the right decision, okay? We told my mother what happened. She walked around the park with us so we could try to find the owner of the game. Soon we saw a boy and his mom looking for something. He looked hopeless, and he burst into tears when we asked him if the game was his. Yes, he wailed. I lost my game master a little while ago. I should have been more careful. Afterward, Mom and I walked home. I was glad I returned the toy to the boy. So I made a promise to myself to always try to do the right thing. Now that is a vow I can keep. So you see, boys and girls, I think at the end, if you asked the boy who lost it, and then if you asked Wyatt's mom and Paul what their point of view was about Wyatt and the decision that he made at the end, I think you would have all said, or all those three of those people would have said that their point of view of Wyatt was a good one. Like, they think that what Wyatt did in the end was a good choice. All right. So you see how point of view works? All right, we'll be doing more of that throughout this week. All right, have a good day. Bye.